Hey everyone, it's time Revolver, and it's been a while since I made a video, so I figured what better time than to do it now when the country seems to be shitting itself. I'm not a overly political person or anything like that, but you know, there's a couple things we really need to talk about here. Now, I know I get sweary a lot, especially on social media. I have zero patience for the willfully stupid. I got no problem with the people who know they don't know and are trying to do better, but the people who don't know and are proud of it, I got nothing for them but contempt. Anyway, the big thing here is the Democrats lost, Trump won. Now, there are so many people talking on social media about why this happened. Um, White people didn't vote the right way. Latinos didn't vote the right way. At the end of the day, it really boils down to this. The United States doesn't actually have a leftist political party. It doesn't. The Democrat Party is right wing. It absolutely is. It just happens to be less right wing than Republicans. But they are both on the right hand side of that line. Democrats are not on the left side of that line in the slightest. That's not a thing. The Democrat Party is right wing. It's conservative light. Diet Republican. That's basically what the Democrat Party. There we go. That's basically what the Democrat Party in the United States is. It is conservative light, not actually leftist. That is one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost her ass in this election. Like, could there be voter fraud? Eh, maybe, maybe not. Like, I do think it's weird, and I want to preface this by saying, I'm not outright saying there's voter fraud. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's never really been my wheelhouse. I'm not interested in stuff like that. Never have been. But one thing people need to understand, and let me lay this out for people to understand. I am an independent centrist. I am not liberal. I am not conservative. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I do not vote on party lines. I vote based on who is best suited for the job. Who is going to make life better for the American people? That is how I base my votes on. The problem is that usually ends up being Democrats because, as Republicans have shown, they can't govern worth a shit. That's why they have trouble winning most elections. Now, Kamala Harris had, I think, about 4 months to campaign, and she decided to lean into the conservative light too much. I mean, she was basically ignoring what the American public wanted. The overwhelming majority of people who usually vote Democrat wanted their candidates to speak out against the genocide in Gaza. She wouldn't do that. She said that Israel is one of America's allies, and I believe it was Iran she said was one of our greatest enemies, greatest threat. Not the case. And before anyone jumps on any kind of high horse, let me spell something out for you here. Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, is on video saying that he likes Hamas. Well, liked, this is past tense. He said that he liked Hamas because they were a useful tool for suppressing the Palestinian people. Meaning, he was fine with them until he wasn't. Like the United States and the Taliban. Because in case people forget, We fucking armed them. Like, we are the reason that the Taliban has anywhere near the fucking influence it does. We did that. The American government did that. But yeah, Kamala Harris shat the bed. That's just all there is to it. She shat the bed. There are a lot of people on social media saying, don't say that she ran a bad campaign. No, it was the American. No, she ran a bad campaign. I mean, if she were running for office as a Republican, her campaign was stupendous, amazing. Because she had Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, two people Democrats aren't exactly thrilled about, campaigning with her, speaking on her behalf, endorsing her. Not a great look. And I understand her thought process was something along the lines of, see, if Dick Cheney thinks you're too far, that's a problem. And I can understand how you would think that's a valid point to try to make in your campaign. Like, even this dude thinks you're too far, and he's pretty fucking too far himself. So if he thinks you're going too far, yeah. Another problem is she had Bill Clinton talking to Arab Americans. Why would you do that? Like, she was trying to appeal to Republican voters like she was going to steal any votes away from Trump. That was never going to fucking happen. Ever. And not only that, but she and Walz at some point clearly got muzzled by whoever the fuck was handling their campaign, because they came out of the gate pretty strong. Tim Walz was speaking his mind, calling MAGA weird. He was going for the jugular. He was calling them out, and rightfully so, for their weird, bizarre behavior. And then at some point, it's like they both got neutered and just milk-toasted their way through the rest of the campaign. Them shitting the bed is just as much a part of the problem as the people who happily voted for Trump. Because, let's not mince words here. MAGA people, I doubt you're going to watch this video with any real interest in a debate or a conversation or anything, but I need you to understand something here, okay? Pardon me? Trump does not care about you. I understand he doesn't like the people you don't like, so you think, great, we'll vote for him. But here's the problem. This is a man who thinks he knows everything. Nobody knows everything. And for those of you MAGA people who are religious, you're committing a sin according to your own religion. Did you not read the Bible? The story of the golden calf? Worshipping a false idol? Yeah, that sin's called idolatry. I know that, and I'm not even a religious person. I'm a person of faith, but not religion. And even I know that worshipping a false idol is a cardinal sin in your religion, and you're still worshipping him. I mean, come on. Some of you made an actual golden statue of Donald Trump. That's a little on the nose, isn't it? Yeah, MAGA people, and I'm not going to insult you here. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to cuss at you. I just need you to understand, okay? Like, this is coming from a place of, like, I know how I come across. I am default aggressive. You know, the life I've had growing up, that's just how I turned out. But I do genuinely care about people. Even people I don't know. Even people who don't have my best interests at heart. You know, I still care about MAGA people even though they don't care about me or the people I care about. But you need to understand, he doesn't care about you. The first chance he gets where it's convenient for him, he will turn on you. Look at his track record. Every single time anyone he's been associated with has gotten in severe hot water, what has he done? Oh, I don't know them. I don't really know anything about them. I'm not associated with them. He throws them under the bus every single time. He was buddies with Epstein. Epstein got in hot water? Oh, I don't know Epstein. I don't really know much about him. I didn't really interact with him. Even though there are plenty of photos that show him joking around and laughing with Epstein. The same with Ghislaine Maxwell. He knew her. She got in hot water. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. We're not really acquainted. That is his go-to. He deflects and throws other people under the bus to save himself. If he has to choose between protecting you or protecting himself, he will choose protecting himself every time, and you will pay the price. He has convinced you to vote against your best interests because, let me fill you folks in on something. Red states tend to have the worst economies because Republicans have no solutions. Republicans are a party of running on the issues and then never solving them. Like, in case any Republicans or MAGA from Texas see this, Republicans have been in power there for decades, but they always campaign on elect us and we'll solve all the problems here in Texas. Republicans have been in power in Texas for decades. They have fixed nothing. They convince you that all the issues you're dealing with are someone else's fault, and if you'll just vote for them, they'll fix the issues, and then they just never fix the issues. And this time, it's going to be especially problematic because Republicans have full control of the government right now. It's all red. You finally got the red wave you wanted. But now there's no one to deflect blame on. So, when Trump's policies start making your life harder, start raising the costs of things you have to buy, there's nobody he can blame now. Nobody. He and Republicans have full control now. They do. They have full control. He gets final say on everything now. He can't shift the blame anymore. He can't say, oh, this policy would have worked if not for who? The House is Republican controlled. The Senate is Republican controlled. Trump is a Republican president. Whose policies aren't working then? He now has no one to blame but himself when things start to go south. That is one of the few silver linings about this whole situation. Now he can't shift blame. He can't shift blame to the Democrats because Democrats no longer have the authority or the power to influence his decisions. Because, again, our government is entirely red. There's no one to blame but him now. So, MAGA people, I need you to understand this. Okay? When costs increase, but the size of your paychecks doesn't, you voted for that. Because you voted for him. It should have been telling that so many people that were part of his presidency the first time around came out this time and said, do not vote for him. He is a terrible human being. He is grossly unqualified to be president. The people who worked alongside him when he was president the first time said these things. They would know better than anybody else because, again, they worked with him during his presidency. They would know better than anybody else what he does, how he thinks. And they said not to vote for him. And I get a lot of you are probably going to do the rhino, the whole Republican in name only. Here's what you guys need to comprehend here. And I'm talking to all Republicans here, not just Trump supporters. MAGA are incapable of properly cooperating. They'll never cooperate because all of them only think about what they can do to advance themselves. And they're going to be looking for any opening they can find to improve their situation, even if that means stepping on another MAGA member. Because, in case you weren't aware, when Republicans were trying to elect a new Speaker of the House, it nearly erupted into actual fistfights. That's how bad it got. MAGA nearly had a civil war with itself just trying to figure out who was going to speak on behalf of them in the House. Just something that small. They nearly had a civil war with themselves. So now, with 4 years, well, 2 years technically, because midterms, but the point is, with at least 2 years, you need to be careful of the fact that every single MAGA politician is going to be waiting for that opening where they can step on whoever is in their way to move just a little higher up that ladder. And oh yes, they will discard you to do it. Pardon me? Ugh. Yeah, MAGA politicians will discard you to get it done. They don't care about you. None of these people you have voted into office care. And let's be real, there's a reason I'm a centrist. Because the Democrat and Republican parties, as they are today, they don't care about the American people. Democrats say they care, and as a result, they have to prove it every once in a while by passing legislation that actually helps the American people. That is why I vote Democrat. Because they at least have to pretend, they have to keep up appearances that they care. And when they do that, it benefits the American people. Republicans openly don't care. They're going to pass what they want to pass. Now, I have a very simple life philosophy. Everyone should be free to live life however they want, as long as it doesn't affect anyone else's ability to live life however they want. Now, for example, I'm not anti-LGBT. 2 men or 2 women getting married in Utah doesn't affect me. That's their personal life. Now, Republicans claim to be the party of small government, but they want the federal government to tell people what they can do in the privacy of their own home. And I want to talk to you about abortion rights too. Now, I know I'm a dude, so I need you to understand something here. Abortion isn't just for, oh, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. No, there are serious medical problems that can pop up during pregnancy that unfortunately require abortion care. Now, there are so many health problems that can come from a pregnancy going wrong that the care required for that is barred under abortion bans. So when you pass an abortion ban, you're not just punishing the women you see in your head when you think of pro-abortion women. The women who are like, oh, I had unprotected sex, I sleep around, I don't want to have kids, I'm just going to go to the abortion clinic. I know that's what anti-abortion people think of when they think of pro-abortion people. Here's the problem. You're also punishing women who want to carry the child to term, do not want an abortion, but complications arise during the pregnancy, and now they need those procedures in order to save their lives, but because of the laws passed, the doctors can't do anything, their hands are tied, and then these women end up bleeding out in the hospital parking lot. That is the country we live in. There should never be a situation where someone who needs medical attention bleeds out in a hospital parking lot because it's illegal for them to get medical help. But that's where we are as a country. That's where we are as a people. Because, yeah, Trump won. I want you to really chew on that for a second. Trump won. What can, and Republicans, I know, MAGA at least, I know you get annoyed when leftists bring up Project 2025. Here's the thing. We don't want to, I'm not a leftist, but even I'm worried about Project 2025. None of us who bring it up want to be right. You understand that, yeah? We don't want to be proven right about this. We want to be wrong about this. Hell, in 4 years, and I have said this on social media, in 4 years, if Trump has not enacted Project 2025, if he has not become a dictator, if he does give up power after the 2028 elections, I will happily admit I was wrong. That I was worried for no reason, that I overreacted. I will happily admit that. Because I want to be wrong. Who would want to be right about this? Who would want to be right about thinking that our country is going to turn into a dictatorship where anyone who isn't white, straight, and male loses all their rights? Who wants to be right about that? Who would want to go, see, I told you I was right, yeah! No. If that comes to pass, we're going to be like, God damn it, we were right. Fuck. It's not something anyone should be celebrating being right about. We want to be proven wrong, MAGA. We want to be proven wrong. We want to be proven wrong that our worst fears about Trump are unfounded. We want him to prove us wrong. We want to be wrong about this. But we're worried that we're not going to be wrong about this. And if that's the case, we're fucked. And you're fucked right along with us. That's what you don't seem to get. And I'm not calling you stupid. Trump and Republicans, they ran a very effective propaganda campaign. They did. They did everything right in that regard. They reached out to the right demographic. They had the right people saying the right things. That's one thing Democrats could have learned a lesson from and didn't. Democrats didn't speak to the heart and concerns of the people they were trying to get voting for them. It's like a lot of people have pointed out, Kamala Harris mainly ran on the I'm not Trump ticket. Yeah, sure, she had policies, she had things she wanted to do, there were other things going on, but it's like in 2020, people didn't vote for Biden, they voted against Trump. That's what it boiled down to. Because in 2020, people were so fatigued, they would have voted for anyone that ran against Trump. And assuming Project 2025 doesn't happen, in 2028, it's going to be the same thing again. Whoever runs in 2028, they're going to win because they're not Trump. That's what it's going to boil down to. Because we're going to be so fucking fatigued from dealing with Donald Trump these next 4 years that any reprieve we get from him we're just going to jump on the opportunity. But Democrats, you need to do better. Stop being Republican light. I, I I will say a lot of people criticized Kamala Harris for saying that she was going to have a Republican in her cabinet. The naysayers about that, here's what you need to understand, okay? Any Democrat that wins an election and becomes president of the United States, they are everyone's president, even the people who didn't vote for them. It's pretty fucked up to tell someone, oh, you didn't vote for me, so I don't care what you have to say. That's a fucked up thing to say, isn't it? Like, if you're going to be president of the United States, you should be willing to hear the opinions of everyone in the United States, because you're the president of the United States. You're not the president of some of the United States. That's not how it works. You are everyone's president or you are nobody's president. So yeah, having a Republican in the cabinet is a good idea. Not only because it lets Republicans feel heard, but also it lets you gauge how Republicans are going to respond to certain policies. It's not a bad idea. It's the fact that Kamala Harris was trying to appeal to Republican voters. Their minds were made up. You're not going to shift their vote. So, Democrats, if we do get an election in 2028, whoever runs for president on the Democrat ticket, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't try to take away voters from the Republicans. You can't. Like, maybe you'll get Republicans who will vote against Trump, but if you're not running against Trump, they're not going to vote for you. They're going to vote for a Republican candidate. What you need to do is you need to get the independents and the third-party voters. And you're not going to do that by being Republican light. You're going to do that by being genuinely left-wing. Oppose genocide. That would have gone a long way in helping Kamala win the election. Had she denounced the genocide against the Palestinian people, that would have gone a long way. Because I guarantee that lost her a lot of votes that probably could have won her this election. This is basically just a stream of consciousness video. I'm just saying what's on my mind. And of course, trains. I live like 50 feet from a railroad track, so yeah. But one thing I do want to say, though, is don't give up. Like, to Democrats, to liberals, to leftists, don't give up. MAGA wants you to give up. They want you to despair. They want you to stop. They want you to give up. Don't. Stand strong. Show them why they can't break you. Why you're stronger than them. Don't give in. And if you have to get angry, get angry. Go ahead. Anger is more useful than despair. Anger is motivating. Despair is paralyzing. Despair saps your desire to do anything. And I've got no problem admitting it. After the results of the election first came down, I started to spiral a bit. I started to despair. But then I realized the fight ain't lost. Not really. We took some rough shots in the first round. But this fight ain't fucking over yet. Don't you dare let them make you think it is. There are still things you can do. There is still a fight to be had here. There is still the war to be won. And I want to be clear, I am not advocating for violence. I'm not telling people to go out and attack MAGA. If anyone puts their hands on you, defend yourself, but do not be the aggressor. Because people like them will use any opportunity they can to make you look like the villain and justify their beliefs. Do not give it to them. If someone puts their hands on you, defend yourself. Otherwise, do not respond. Do not give them what they want. You plant your feet, you stand your ground, you fight. You fight for your lives, you fight for this country, you fight for the future of your children, of the generations to come. Do not give in, do not give up. You are stronger than this. Stronger than you know. Humanity is more resilient than we will ever give ourselves credit for. But we have a very defeatist attitude. The second things turn sideways, we want to give up. We want to back away. We want to call the fight. Don't give these people what they want. You show them the strength of your conviction. And stay safe out there. Look out for each other. Watch each other's backs. Protect the people who can't protect themselves. Because even if Project 2025 doesn't come to pass, things are going to get really bad for a lot of people who don't deserve it. We need to be the village. We need to look out for each other. We need to have each other's backs. We need to protect each other. We need to give a damn. And I know that's pretty fucking hilarious coming from Captain Aggression here, but it's the truth. Like, we have something MAGA will never have. The capacity to cooperate and put aside what's good for us to do what's good for everyone. MAGA, at the end of the day, will always put each of themselves first. Every single MAGA politician will put themselves before the people who voted for them, before their fellow MAGA members. They will always put themselves first. But we have the capacity to think beyond that. We can see the big picture. MAGA can't. Keep up the fight. Stand your ground. You can do this. And this video's running long, so I'll cut it here. Just remember, don't let despair win. Get angry if you have to, but don't despair. We can fight. There's still hope. I've been timed Revolver, and it's been it's gonna be a shitty few years here, people. I'm not gonna lie. But the only way out is through. That's just the hard truth of the matter. So, until whenever the hell I get the urge to record another video, later.